Okay, getting ready to do a 30,000 mile maintenance on my 2019 Honda Pilot EXL with all-wheel drive. So today I'm gonna be changing the engine oil, the transfer assembly fluid, and the rear differential fluid, and the automatic transmission fluid. So we're gonna get started by jacking the car up. So your jack point in the front is going to be right here. This point right here. That'll be our jack point in the front. So we're gonna go ahead and start there. Okay, so we jack the front of it up, and then we put our two front jack stands in place. You can see the jack stand locations right there. Same on the other side, and the same on the back. So you just want to make sure you put them in those reinforced areas. So we're going to jack up the back now. So on the back end, we're going to come straight under the back. And the jack stand location for the back is right there. So at least they're very easy to locate. So we'll jack this up and put the jacks in the back. Alright, so we've got all the jack stands under. If I was doing a tire rotation, I would put the front up another notch, but I'm not, because I just got new tires, so I don't need to rotate them right now. I got all my jack stands in place. And for the tires, I would have these Michelin Defender LTX, and really like them. This is the 4th vehicle I've had these on, and I really like them. So now I'm going to start with the oil change. Okay, so we're going to change our oil. Oil filter, it's a Honda filter, and so we're going to start with that. Get under the car here. Okay. Let me get in position. Okay, there's our oil filter. It's not going to focus well, but blue filter right there. There's going to be room to reach up and around this black bar without taking off any covers or anything. So we're going to start with that. Okay, on most Hondas you can use this Honda oil filter wrench, but on this, by the time you put a socket in there, you don't have clearance. So I'm using this style of filter wrench for it. There's the range and size that works on this, so you can get something like that. We're going to get that oil filter changed. Okay, there's where our oil filter came off from. So we're going to put our new one on. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to need 2 hands. Then we're going to drain our oil. Okay, so I have this Femodo valve to drain the oil. So all I have to do is get my oil pan right under there, and then I push in on the spring-loaded lever, turn it 90 degrees, let the oil drain. If If you don't know about the Fumoto valves, it's F-U-M-O-T-O, and it prevents you from having to take out your drain bolt and put it in. All you have to do once you install it is what I just showed you, and then after that oil's drained, we'll push in on the spring-loaded valve and just rotate it 90 degrees and it'll be closed. So we're going to let the oil drain, then we'll put in our oil, which is 5.7 quarts, and that's going to complete our oil change. Okay, now we're going to do the automatic transmission fluid. So this is the plug that you'll see. Mine was dirty, but it goes down there. If we can get it to... So I've got this piece of black funnel sticking in there, and then this flexible piece. So let me show you what I figured out I could do, because it's way down there. So I had this kind of funnel like this with a flexible piece, and then I had this two-piece funnel. I'm not using the top part, and so what I did was I took the other part of that one. So I got this removable part sticking in there. This is going to be how we fill it, and then I'll put that flexible hose in there and hold it in there with one hand and pour with the other when I get to filling it up. So we're going to get under the car and drain the automatic transmission fluid. So before I get into the vehicle, I need a drain pan for my fluid. I have a 3-inch breaker bar. And I have a pipe I can put over the breaker bar to get more torque on it. And before I get into there, I'm going to grab a 20mm crush washer. Okay, so our jack stands are supporting the vehicle, and our jack is just there as a safety measure. I'm going to have to reposition it because that drain bolt for the automatic transmission is pretty much right in the middle where this is at, so I'm going to have to find out a different angle I can put that in there. But if you come under the front of the car and you look, there's your drain bolt for the automatic transmission fluid right there. So I'm going to take that off with the 3-inch breaker bar. So we're going to do that, and I'll just get this out of the way and still have it somewhere as a safety measure. Okay, so we use the breaker bar. We got the plug off there. There it is. It's going to be hard to show this with one hand, but basically this is a magnet, and it collects shavings, and the most shavings you'll probably ever get is this first 30,000 mile oil change. Let me wipe that off and show you what it looks like. So there's the rag that I wiped that with. So it was a decent amount, but normal. And then now it's all clean. And future oil transmission fluid changes will probably have less and less as it gets broken and everything. So we're going to replace the crush washer and let that finish draining. It's already down to a drip, but we'll give it some time. Okay, a couple of updates. It's an 18mm crush washer, not a 20. So it's an 18mm crush washer. And also, because of the metal frame around the top of this, I was not able to get my torque wrench on there, so I just had to use the breaker bar to tighten it up. You just don't want to over tighten, so just get it snug, and that's it. So just don't over tighten that. So now we're going to add 3.5 quarts, and that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so we have the 6-speed transmission, not the newer 9-speed. So we use the genuine Honda automatic transmission fluid ATF DW-1, and we have our setup here. to fill, we're going to put 3.5 quarts in to start. And after we get the 3.5 quarts in, we're going to put our dipstick drain plug back in. Then we're going to start the car and run it for a while. And then we'll check it hot with the dipstick, and then if we need to add, we will. It's got a very clear marker on here. It says hot. You want it in between the two dots. I'll adjust it till I'm towards the top dot. But I'll start with 3.5 and go from there. So. Okay, so we're gonna change the transfer case gear oil with this hypoid gear oil. Takes, I think, just a little over a half quart or something. We're gonna use this to pump that out of there. So we're gonna need a 3/8 inch breaker bar, which we have there, and a little pipe to put on the end to give us a little more torque. And we're gonna first remove the upper fill bolt, because if we have trouble getting that off, you don't want to drain it first and then find out that you aren't able to get the fill bolt off. So you want to get the fill bolt off first at the top, then drain all the fluid out, then put the drain bolt back in with a new crush washer, then fill until it comes out the top, until it starts to run out the top. Then you put your top bolt in and you're done with a new crush washer on both, a 20mm crush washer, which looks like this right here. So we're going to use 2 of those. Let's get started. Okay, so going up under the front, as we're going to be doing. So this was our jack point for reference. This was the automatic transmission fluid drain bolt. We're going to follow back this way. First time I'm doing this, so there's one of our bolts right there that we're going to do. Okay, so the one we pointed out is the top fill bolt. This one we're going to undo first. There's our drain bolt right on the bottom, so that's awesome. So here's the steps. We're going to remove this top fill bolt first. We're going to put a new crush washer on it, set it aside, ready to go back in later. Then we're going to get our drain pan. We're going to take this drain bolt off. We're going to let it drain. We're going to put on our new crush washer. Once it's drained out, we're going to wipe that clean and put on our new bolt, and we're going to tighten it snug. Then we're going to fill with our tubes through that hole until it starts to slowly leak back out, letting us know that it's full. Once that happens, we will stop pumping the new fluid in there, and we will put that bolt back in there and snug it up, and that job will be done. So they're the same. They both have a new crush washer on and getting ready to put the drain bolt back in, and then we'll put our new fluid in. Okay, our drain bolt is back in and tightened. We have our quart hooked up to the fill part in the top. So now we're just going to pump that fluid in like this until it starts to come out. So it's going to take a while. It takes about we're over half quart, I think. So these pump slowly, so I'm not going to video all that, but I'll pump it until it starts to drain out right there, and then I'll put the fill plug back in and we'll be done. Okay, we're going to do the rear differential fluid. We got a 3/8 inch breaker bar, a pipe for some torque. We got our fluid. We've got our pump to get the fluid out, 20mm crush washers. Drain pan, getting in from the back of the vehicle. There's our jack point. So on this side, there's your drain plug. The fill plug is in the back, and it's right there. Right there. So we're gonna get this broke loose first, then we'll take it out and we'll clean it up, set it aside with our new crush washer on, and just let it sit there. Then we will break this one loose, and we will drain that, and then we'll put that back in. Then we'll put our new fluid in. My dog has a friend that came by. Okay, we got the fill bolt off, and then we got the drain bolt off, so it's draining. That crush washer is still on there, so I'll have to grab that in a minute. Here's the drain bolt with the crud that comes off on it, so we'll go ahead and clean that up. That's a magnet that catches metal shavings. So we'll clean that up, put our new crush washer on, and then we'll put it back on snug. Once that stops draining, we'll do that. And then we'll put our pump on our quart bottles and start filling it up at the top until it starts draining out on us, and then we'll put that plug back on and we'll be done. Okay, so the top fill bolt takes a 20mm crush washer, and the drain bolt takes a 18mm crush washer. Okay, we have our drain bolt back in. We have our pump on our quart bottles of the dual pump fluid 2, and we have the hose and the fill, and now we'll pump these until it starts to slowly drip back out, and then we'll put our plug back in and we'll be done. Hey Abby, how you doing? So we're going to reset our maintenance minder. Reset our engine oil. saying unable.